Hello and welcome back to the Call Box. This is where you go for police info. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, coming to you once again. It's the last show of the year, coming from police headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix. I want to introduce right away my very special guest. Welcome back to the Phoenix Police Department, Police Chief Matt Giordano.
Vince, thanks for having me. It's
Absolutely.
honor.
Yeah, great. No, back in the room. We're in the press room right now. This is a press room that we call the official Matt Giordano press room. Didn't you get this all set up for us?
I did. Used to be Records was in here,
Mhm.
and we used to have to set up the room across the hall every time we had a press conference.
Right, yeah.
And when this became vacant, I found some funding, and we created this. It's still not perfect, but it's much better than we had.
Yeah, awesome. Well, this is obviously isn't your legacy. Your legacy, of course, is your numerous years of service, and everybody's got a great story about the time when they worked with you. I worked with you when you were commander over top of us for a little bit, and I was back at a just PIO sergeant. But yeah, welcome back. So we've completed 100 days. Let's talk a little bit about that. So what stands out?
Well, sometimes it feels like 10 days. Sometimes it feels like 200 days. It's been phenomenal. It really is. It was never a career ambition for me. I had never envisioned myself becoming a police chief or the police chief here in Phoenix. But it's a dream come true. It really is. You always sit back and go, gosh, if I was in charge, I'd do this. If I was in charge, I'd do that. And now I'm in charge. Yeah. And I have a lot of autonomy, and I work with phenomenal people. And it's just really nice to be able to give back to the city and the department that gave so much to me.
Yeah, I grew up in Phoenix, obviously, and with the two fathers, a father and a stepfather on the department, growing up around Phoenix. My mom was a volunteer. We're standing on the shoulders of giants. Really, a lot of the work that was done ahead of time put us in a great position. And when you took the helm, you just kind of steered us in the right direction. So lead with pride. Tell me a little bit about that.
We've had pride forever, right? It's been on every oral board, every interview we've ever done. It's something it's our core. It's what we believe in. What I want to do is take it to the next level, and I want to incorporate lead. And what I've seen historically in my career is leaders are leaders. So you always think of formal leadership. Well, I really believe in informal leadership. I think everybody in this organization is a leader. So I want people to lead at every level. So if it's someone answering a 911 call, if it's someone dispatching, if it's someone responding, you're a leader. You're a leader in this organization, and I want them to feel that. I want them to be empowered to do that. So lead's an acronym, as you know, but I also want to engage. I really believe strongly in engagement, and again, I engage at all levels. I want us to engage with the public that we serve, but I also want us to engage internally. And again, too often we get wrapped up in what we're doing and what we're focusing on. And I really take time to step back, and I try to role model the behavior I want to see. So I go out of my way to make sure I'm engaging. So I'm on the elevator, I'm walking through the hallways, I stop and talk. I just talked to a gentleman out in the parking lot who's retiring next week. And I talked to him, and I'd never met him before. And it was a really good conversation. Told me what he was going to do. And I was really excited for him. But those are the important moments when you engage with people, because again, we want to be heard. We want to be seen and valued. And we're all like that. And I want to make sure I role model that behavior.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about community engagement and things, but really before we go away from talking about internal issues, recruiting. So you came to, you obviously you left Phoenix to go work for ASPOS. You saw some of the issues that the public was seeing from their perspective. What are your thoughts on recruiting going forward? How are we done? What are you looking to change?
Well, it was really interesting because when I left here, I went to the county sheriffs for a little while.
That's right.
So I got to see how they hired and trained. Then I got to go to work at Arizona Post. So I got to see, I talk about it being seen behind the curtain of 158 agencies in the state of Arizona that hire police officers. I got to see how they hired, how they trained, and how they disciplined. It was really fascinating. So I also got to see some things that Phoenix did from an outsider's perspective, which again was fascinating to me. And I think we can do better. And I know we are doing better. And we need to start looking at holistically at applicants. Because again, we are not a one-size-fits-all agency. We need people from all walks of life, from all members of the community are welcome here. And we want to do that. That's what we want our department to represent, the community. So I think we need to look at people holistically. Historically, we would have thousands of people that would interview for this position. And when you and I went through that, I think there was 1,500 people taking the written test when I did for about 10 or 15 spots. So I was very fortunate. But again, we don't have that anymore. And we used to look for ways to say no to people with disqualify. Now we're looking, how can we say yes within the confines of the rules to get the best person to wear this uniform? We get the best and brightest that apply with us. I want to make sure we're hiring the best and brightest, and we're training them so they go out and they serve the community exceptionally.
Yeah, we have the blessing of getting to know our professional staff as they onboard. And I'm happy to help kind of give them a little bit of insight into police culture. But one of the things that you and I have seen, obviously through the professional staff onboarding, we watch them through their careers. We also host promotions together. So we see a lot of our professional staff with opportunity, a path for advancement inside. So even if they're not going to wear the badge and the gun, we're taking people, professionals with skills and experience that are helping round out the police department.
Absolutely.
So where do you see some of our, our greatest achievements when it comes to the professional staff?
Oh, it's amazing to me. I've always looked at the professional staff as we couldn't do our jobs out on the street without the professional staff. It'd be impossible. I joke, I was at Arizona Post, they kept the lights on. You need someone. But when I go to different events, I go to communications and talk, the breadth of knowledge they have, the temperament they have, the ability to communicate effectively under stress is amazing to me. I tell them there's about 3 jobs in this department I can never do. That's one of them. I just can't, I don't have that skill set to multitask the way they do. I can watch them dispatch a call, take a 911 call, talk to their coworker, typing. I couldn't do any of that. I'd be lost. So thank goodness for them. Then you go to the lab. And I joke a lot of times, I'm never the smartest person in the room. When I go to the lab, I'm not even the top 300 in the room. They are brilliant. Those are brilliant members of our department. So again, there's professional staff everywhere that do amazing things every day. And it's just unfortunate they don't get the attention sometimes that I know they deserve.
Yeah. So you mentioned communications. We had Administrator Ali Edwards on the last show. We were talking about some of the anatomy of a 911 call. But communications has had some milestones recently. We're talking about obviously the new dispatch center in the new Hunter West. We'll get to that. AI, non-emergency call triage, behavioral health questions, interacting with CAP, call diversion, and things like that. How do you see us leveraging these innovations when it comes to our communications operators?
Well, it's just making it more efficient. Again, any information you have on the front end of it makes a call more successful. And that success of that call starts the minute the the operator picks up the phone and starts asking those questions. As you know, as we watch the police work evolve, communications has evolved. So we have so much information. Officers have so much information when they arrive at that call. They're so much more successful. And that starts right there. And leveraging technology. We got to do that everywhere because we just have to work smarter. And they're doing that. They're at the forefront of that over at communications.
Yeah, we're also blessed to have some of these real-time operations centers.
Correct.
That are popping up at the precincts. And obviously we might be working towards maybe in the future a real-time crime center that's going to kind of manage as a mothership to these satellite areas. But the critical connection between our communications operators and those who are working those RTOCs gets officers that more detail, more information on the front end. Is that one of the new technological advancements that you've been wowed by since you've been back?
That and drones.
Yeah.
But no, things change so much. I was gone 8.5 years. So from day-to-day, or 6.5 years from day-to-day policing. And technology has leaps and bounds. And it's really fun to watch how we have taken technology and just keep leveraging it. And that is that information sharing. And I listen to the radio when I'm driving around, or I get briefings, and I'll switch over and listen. And to see how quickly they can identify suspects, identify vehicles, identify locations, and make arrests is astounding to me. And that comes out of those real-time operation centers. So it's amazing work that's being done day in, day out.
Yeah, we owe a lot of those innovations not only to the smarts that comes from inside our employees and things like that, but we also want to thank Mayor and Council for the support that we get, because obviously they're our connection to the community along with our community action officers. Let's talk a little bit about community. Help me see your vision for the advisory boards who you meet with regularly and connect you with those groups within the community.
No, I do. And those are very important to me. When I was the commander of community relations, we had 9. I saw a couple of gaps, so we created 3 additional ones. And now I've done the circuit. I think I've met with each one of them during their quarterly meetings, and I love those meetings. It's a great free flow of information. Are they always comfortable? They always come and tell us how great of a job we're doing? Not always. Sometimes they have some very direct feedback, and I call those tough conversations. But I think we grow during tough conversations. So I'm always willing to go out. They've been incredibly supportive. It's really nice rekindling those relationships. I had maintained a lot of those, but rekindling them, seeing them, it's been really rewarding to me. And to see the 3 that I started still flourishing, it's a really proud moment.
Yeah, that's great. We're a big city. I mean, a lot of people may not even realize, being the 5th largest city in the United States, having those groups that are willing to come to the table and talk to us and tell us where we can be better. Let's talk a little bit about accountability. What is your vision going forward for internal investigations, accountability, and how do we continue to be the department that the community expects?
Well, I'll go back to my Arizona Post days. Again, 158 agencies. Arizona Post has the ability to sanction a peace officer certification. So internal affairs investigations came through Arizona Post. So I have seen the gamut of internal affairs investigations. And I know I've got some bias, and it's not even just implicit, the explicit bias right here. Phoenix Police Department does things very well. I would argue they're the gold standard of internal affairs investigations in the state, hands down, probably if not the country. We do a very good job. We just need to make sure we're overly transparent. I don't think we hide anything, but we need sometimes just to share more openly. And I'm all about that. There's nothing we're doing behind closed doors. We're not treating people differently. Rules and facts they're nothing more than that. The facts are the facts. So if the facts take us in an investigation one way, that's the way we're going to go. We're not going to manipulate facts. What happened, and we're going to hold people accountable. I can tell you our investigations are thoroughly done, but there's such a small number of the hundreds or millions of interactions our employees have every day. So again, we do a phenomenal job. And sometimes do people make mistakes? Absolutely. I guarantee today, what was it, 1 o'clock? I've made 5 mistakes today. I should be held accountable for those mistakes. And that's what we'll do. But we're not mad at someone, right? We're correcting behavior, identifying issues, looking for paths for improvement. We're not mad at anybody. So we will do thorough and fair investigations, hold people accountable, and then we'll move on, which we ultimately want those members of our department to be successful.
And the results of those investigations and the discipline that's being administered and where those employees might be, is that sort of information, is that publicly available?
It's all public. It's all publicly available. We will provide all that information once the process has been fully executed.
Right. Okay, great. Let's look forward. We've got some milestones coming up. We've got a new police headquarters that you're going to usher us into. Cactus Park Precinct is getting a new facility. We've got improvements out to the Maryville. Elwood, our property bureau, is getting improvements. Where do you see us going in the future? We got about a minute left.
Oh, I just see great things happening. The building itself is so exciting. We've been in this building a long time. I'm so excited. I've been talking to retirees. I've been talking to retired chiefs, and we're going to host an event at the new headquarters because it's so nice. The city did a really good job with this department. It's really going to be fun to go to work there, and I cannot wait to open that.
All right. Well, thanks, Chief, and I appreciate you coming on there. I know your time is very valuable, but Chief Matt Giordano, thank you for coming on the show. I'd like to thank the crew for producing. Thank you, the viewer and listener, all year sticking with us at the call box. You can catch the video versions of these shows on our YouTube channel. I just want to remind everybody out there, you too can help solve crime in your community by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org and call 480-WITNESS. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're usually at Phoenix Police. We are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. And until next time, be safe out there.